So I just saw the movie Omni with Mary Louise Parker and Ayo Edebiri, and I've got to say I was underwhelmed and sort of disappointed with the feature. I was expecting greater things, and it's kind of sad, honestly. Like, I was hoping for so much more that just wasn't delivered on its premise, because it's all about it's a time loop movie like Edge of Tomorrow or Live Die Repeat, Groundhog Day, and Palm Springs, and I love those three movies. They each bring their own twist to it, and the twist behind this one is that the main character, played by Mary Louise Parker, is suffering from having a black hole inside of her due to having messed with the reality of it all so much. I presume it actually isn't fully explained, and they act like it's a normal thing, which makes even less sense in the context of the movie. But it's an interesting premise, but then it thinks too highly of itself and treats it way smarter than it should have. If it was just campier and more fun, it probably would have been more entertaining and easier to follow and more palatable. The issue is it isn't. It's too serious. It gets overly dramatic. It gets a little too sad when you just kind of want a more upbeat feature. Like, you can have your sad moments, but the better time loop movies always have a sense of rewatchability, and this one doesn't really have that, especially with its ending, which is, to say the least, kind of upsetting as well. Like, my friends were not very happy with that ending, even though they were very happy that it ended. But yeah, story-wise, could have used some work. I'm giving it a Hot Pocket score. And even then, it's gracious to say that it is even fully edible. Cinematics-wise, I think that there were some cool visual effects, but it is very rarely shown. Other than that, it just kind of looks like they are apparating like in Harry Potter for most of the movie, and by they, I mean Mary Louise Parker, because she is the real one who's stuck in this time loop, and the way, like, the idea behind the time loop is even more interesting because it's not one day, it's 5 days. All these other ones are usually the same day, but this one is, like, a little different, and if they played more into that, could have been better. Just could have been better. But yeah, cinematics-wise, it actually is pretty interesting. I'll give a hand grenade score because it's got some interesting ideas. So I'll continue. Directing, some of the scenes were pretty. Really suffers from some pacing issues, as this sub 2 hour movie felt longer than 3 hours, and that is bad. Your time loop movie should not make you feel like you're stuck in a time loop, and that is what my friends were saying the whole time, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it was difficult to watch, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna skip giving a score for this one because I don't want to be mean. But it's a tough watch, and it's very unfortunate because I think there was potential with a good movie here, direction-wise, if they had just sped it up a bit more, because it does overfocus on way too many small details because it thinks so highly of itself, unfortunately. I think that's the greatest issue with this. Performance-wise, I would say something, but the performances were nowhere near palatable, in my opinion. Like, I think they could have done a lot better, but I think it's mostly due to the roles and the script, unfortunately. Like, they tried, it just doesn't work the best. In conclusion, this is just a Hot Pocket hand grenade movie. I cannot wholeheartedly recommend this movie under any circumstance. It was tough, difficult. There is nothing to really keep you engaged, and there are just better time loop movies out there. So it's hard to recommend this one over, like I mentioned earlier, Groundhog Day, Palm Springs, or Edge of Tomorrow. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below your thoughts on Omni Loop if you saw it, or if you're now not planning on seeing it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Other than that, I'll leave you guys to it.